Ever wondered what true courage looks like? It's not just about fighting a war. It's about fighting for the right to fight. Today, we're diving deep into the incredible 1989 film, Glory, a story so powerful it changes how you see the American Civil War. This isn't just a war movie. It's a testament to the human spirit's fight for dignity, respect, and freedom. Glory throws us right into the heart of the conflict, seen through the eyes of Captain Robert Gould Shaw, a young, idealistic white officer from a wealthy Boston family. After surviving the brutal Battle of Antietam, Shaw is given a command that will define his life and legacy: to lead the 54th Massachusetts Infantry Regiment, one of the first all-black volunteer units in the Union Army. Now this was a massive deal. At the time, many in the North didn't believe black men could be effective soldiers. They were seen as property, not patriots. Shaw, despite his abolitionist upbringing, shares some of these doubts. He accepts the command, but he's stepping into a world of prejudice from both the enemy and his own side. This is where we meet the heart and soul of the film. The men of the 54th. These aren't just faceless soldiers. They're individuals with their own stories and motivations. There's John Rawlins, a wise and steady gravedigger who becomes a father figure to the men and is eventually promoted to sergeant major. He's the moral compass of the regiment. Then you have Trip, a runaway slave played by a young Denzel Washington in an Oscar-winning performance. Trip is cynical, angry, and defiant. He carries the physical and emotional scars of slavery, and he trusts no one, especially not the white officers leading them. He's constantly challenging Shaw's authority, questioning if this fight is truly for his freedom or just another way for white men to use him. His journey from bitterness to brotherhood is one of the most compelling parts of the story. We also meet Thomas Searles, a free black man from Boston and a childhood friend of Shaw's. Thomas is educated and sensitive, but he's not prepared for the harsh realities of military life. He represents the struggle of those who believed in the Union's ideals but found the reality to be far more brutal. His transformation from a timid intellectual into a hardened soldier is truly moving. The first half of the movie is all about the struggle to even become a real regiment. The men of the 54th face systemic racism at every turn. They're denied proper supplies like shoes because the quartermaster assumes they'll just desert anyway. They're given less pay than white soldiers, a deep insult to their service and sacrifice. One of the most powerful scenes is the pay dispute. When the men are offered reduced pay, they refuse it in protest. Shaw, seeing the injustice, joins them, tearing up his own paycheck in solidarity. It's a pivotal moment where he starts to shed his aristocratic distance and truly becomes one with his men. He's no longer just their commander. He's their brother in arms. The training is relentless. Shaw, determined to prove everyone wrong, pushes his men harder than anyone. He knows they have to be better, more disciplined, and more skilled than any white regiment just to be considered equal. This tough love approach creates tension. Especially with Trip, there's a gut-wrenching scene where Trip is caught after temporarily deserting and Shaw is forced by military law to have him flogged. As the whip strikes, a single tear rolls down Shaw's face. He hates what he has to do, but he is bound by the rules of the army he is trying to make his men a part of. For Trip, it's just a painful reminder of the lash he endured as a slave. The scene is a raw, unflinching look at the complex power dynamics and the painful history these men carry. Despite all the obstacles, the 54th transforms from a ragtag group of volunteers into a proud, disciplined fighting force. They finally get their uniforms, their rifles, and their regimental flag. The moment they march through Boston, cheered on by the community, is a powerful symbol of progress and pride. But their fight is far from over. Once they're deployed to the South, they're not even sent into battle. Instead, they're relegated to manual labor and raids on undefended towns, ordered by a corrupt officer to burn and loot. This is the ultimate insult. They train to fight for freedom, not to be glorified thieves. Shaw is furious. He uses his influence to get his men a real combat assignment. They finally get their chance in a small skirmish in South Carolina, where they prove their mettle, fighting with incredible bravery and skill. They prove everyone wrong. They are not just men, they are soldiers. This success leads to their ultimate test: a suicidal charge on Fort Wagner, a heavily fortified Confederate stronghold on Morris Island. The fort is a death trap, and previous assaults have failed miserably. Volunteering for this mission is almost a certain death sentence. The night before the assault is one of the most emotional parts of the film. The men gather around a campfire, singing hymns and sharing their fears and hopes. It's a moment of profound unity. Trip, who has been defiant the entire film, finally speaks from the heart. He admits he isn't fighting for the Union or for Shaw, but for his fellow soldiers, for his brothers. He has found his family. Then comes the final battle. As dusk falls, Shaw addresses his men on the beach, telling them he will be with them every step of the way. The bugle sounds and the charge begins. What follows is a cinematic masterpiece of controlled chaos and raw heroism. The 54th charges across the open beach under a relentless storm of cannon and rifle fire. The casualties are immediate and horrific. Men fall left and right, but they never break formation. They keep pushing forward, driven by a purpose greater than themselves. Shaw leads from the front, urging his men on. He reaches the walls of the fort, but is shot and killed as he crests the parapet. In that moment of devastation, the flag-bearer is also shot. Just as the flag is about to fall, Trip, the cynical and defiant soldier, grabs it. He rallies the men with a powerful war cry, holding the flag high as a symbol of their unbreakable spirit before he too is cut down by enemy fire. The men of the 54th breach the fort, but they are overwhelmed and the assault ultimately fails. The next morning, we see the aftermath. The bodies of the fallen soldiers, black and white, are thrown into a mass grave. Shaw is buried alongside his men, stripped of his uniform, a final act of disrespect by the Confederates, but in the film's context, it's the ultimate honor. He is truly one with them, in life and in death. The film ends with a powerful epilogue. While the assault on Fort Wagner was a military defeat, it was a monumental victory for the cause of freedom. The bravery of the 54th Massachusetts inspired the Union to recruit over 180,000 more black soldiers. Their sacrifice proved their worth and helped turn the tide of the war, both on the battlefield and in the hearts and minds of the nation. Glory isn't just a summary of historical events. It has an exploration of what it means to fight for a country that doesn't even recognize you as a full citizen. It's about the birth of a new kind of American identity, forged in fire and paid for in blood. It's a timeless story of courage, sacrifice, and the enduring struggle for dignity. If you haven't seen it, you absolutely must. It's a film that will stay with you long after the credits roll. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more content just like this. See you in the next video.